Hey Maria, back with another video, and I just kind of want to talk about women and, or that I should say the persecution of women. But before I start off on my video here, I wanted to share something with you guys. I got a text message today, and the lady was telling me, she said, in the USA, federal court has held conviction of a 13-year-old boy while in class and clowning around and burping to be taken away by police and jailed, suspended for 1 year from attending school. And I kept thinking how funny that was, because, you know, if I was a goofy kid when I was younger, so I mean, you know, just being disruptive in the class was just like normal to me. I was always laughing or goofing or doing something I wasn't supposed to do. So, you know, but I have to say that I think this is a little extreme for a kid, because, I mean, kids do stuff like that. Kids are constantly having to be corralled back to their seat, you know. I'm not saying that some kids are real mellow, but, you know, when you're dealing with kids that age, I just think that that's a very stiff penalty, you know, for something that I would say for that age is, you know, kind of normal. But anyway, it did kind of make me smile. But it did also make me think about how some people judge others so harshly or react in such in a way that sometimes where I feel as though the punishment doesn't fit the crime. And in this situation, in my situation, I don't believe the punishment fits the crime. Now, I do know that I've been discriminated against my race, okay, no-brainer. And then people are talking about coming to Jesus and inviting me to church, so there's a religious discrimination part there. Okay, but I want to talk today about women, okay, because I've already called it the race and religion part. And I'm going to talk about women, and I'm just tired of women getting a bad rap for just basically existing and living our lives, okay? Now, I want to say that I'm starting to see, or try to see things from other people's perspective, like when I left Bakersfield the first time, back in 2006 or 2007. 2007, I think it was. Whatever. Anyway, somewhere around that time. And I keep thinking, okay, I'm wondering, did people have all these, like, things conjured up in their mind as to the life that Maria was living while she was living in the Antelope Valley? Because I'm going to tell you, I didn't do anything in the Antelope Valley, okay, while I was there. It was a very boring time. Like I said, sometimes I would come home late from work, and then on the weekends, you know, if I was really, really feeling up to it, I would get out of bed in the afternoon and go to the Sizzler for lunch, okay? And that was like the highlight of my day. And then I'd come back home, look on the internet or whatever, listen to music, you know, and then go to sleep, okay? Seriously, my life has been completely boring. So I think maybe some people might have thought that I was leaving my husband for a life of this party lifestyle, you know, like I was just living it up and stuff like that. No. That would be kind of interesting, I guess, but no. Okay, Maria just went to work, came home, and spent her time, you know, doing that sort of stuff. You know, going to Sizzler, doing my laundry, and then dreading going back to work to that hellhole piece of shit job that I was stuck with having to work. You know, and anyway, so, I mean, but I was thinking, you know, how women are demonized for absolutely anything and everything, okay? Like I was talking about the lady whose husband initiated the divorce, okay? Now, that is no blemish on her, okay? That's not, he just found somebody else and just wanted to go and be with that person, okay? Men do that kind of stuff, okay? I don't think it's cool, but they do that, okay? So this person's just left here, you know, holding, you know, the bag, and she's completely devastated, so she's got to go out to work and live her life in society, and people are just beating up on her for no reason. Oh, they don't like her, okay? And I do remember this woman. I mean, she was a very attractive woman, okay? And people assumed things about her. That wasn't fair, okay? I mean, nobody knows by looking at a person what kind of tragedy these people are living through. And I think society is just really quick to just judge somebody and just want to point the finger because they enjoy the gossip. They enjoy being the center, being a part of a group, a collective group that's participating in bringing somebody down, and that's wrong. Okay, people get divorced for all kinds of reasons. In my case, I had been living on my own since I was like my 30s. I mean, I got married pretty late in life. And so it wasn't that, believe me, just because I was, you know, didn't get married till late in life, don't think Maria was, you know, sitting out partying around, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, okay? very boring, okay? I'm a home person, okay? This is what people don't understand, but they would love to assume this about me. Okay, a lot of people think that black women are just running all over the town, or they're just like white boy crazy, you know, and no, that's not the case, okay? Stop judging it, you know, stop filling in the blanks, okay? And that's what I think my family has done. They filled in some blanks and then some, you know, and it seems like, you know, because when I was living in the Elk Valley, it's like, you know, you'd think my sister would be able to come over to my house or maybe ask me questions directly, you know, to show me that she really cared, but no, she was just using this as a topic of gossip, I guess, but no. But, you know, women do. They get a bad rap for everything. But yet, when men dump, for example, I've seen older men dump their wives who've given them children for a younger woman. I've seen this shit played out a lot, okay? This woman is probably going to be ostracized in society, and the dude who dumps this bitch, right, the sad woman, okay, I shouldn't call her a bitch, but the sad woman who's just completely emotionally devastated, he's looked upon as some playboy who's living the life, and he's fully respected. Okay, and I've seen this stuff play out so much that I'm absolutely sick of it, okay? It's disgusting. And, you know, in my situation, you know, I was a single parent. Now, mind you, I didn't just give birth, you know, alone, okay? I didn't have, I'm not like the Virgin Mary, okay? I had some help in this, okay? And so I'm sitting here raising a kid all by myself, right? And then, you know, my son's father can go off and live his life, and, you know, everybody's just giving him thumbs up. Nobody ever says, hey, you know what, you need to pay that woman some child support, take care of that kid. No. Oh, no. This man goes out in society, and he's fully respected. So we have this issue, okay? We have this issue in the world that is so wrong, okay? And so we look at countries that stone women to death, okay, for whatever, for trying to, you know, think outside the box and maybe find some happiness in all this darkness that they're living in. And the minute they do something wrong that a lot of men will do, they will blame this woman for tempting them. I mean, it's just absolutely nonsense, okay? And then when you think about how American society is, when you go around blacklisting women, okay, especially when you don't even know them and what's going on in their life, okay, you're no different than the people who are stoning these women to death. You're no different, okay? Because, you know, blacklisting is a form of murder in the first place. It really is, okay? And when you're throwing people out and ostracizing them from society, that is the equivalent of killing somebody but doing it in a very slow way. Okay? And I think people need to rethink this because, you know, like I said, women are just constantly getting a bad rap for things, a lot of times the evil that men do, okay? And it needs to stop. Okay? That's not saying that I'm trying to create a sex war or that I'm like on one side or another. Okay? I'm a woman, I understand those issues, okay? But it doesn't seem to affect a man, okay, like it does a woman. But people do. They conjure up all kinds of stuff. I'm not saying I have been like goody two-shoes perfect, you know, all my life, but for the most part, my life has been filled with worry, constant dread as to whether I'm going to keep a job or not, no matter how hard I work. And now I'm starting to realize it was my family all along. Anyway, and that really annoys me. It really annoys me, but it explains a lot. And it makes me feel better knowing that it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I think my family is a good example of people who put unrealistic expectations on women. Now, I'm going to talk about my mother for a second. Now, my mother, by society standards, is an ideal woman. What I mean by that is, by looking at her, you think, oh, she's got these great moral standards, okay? And I will say that my mother was very old-fashioned, okay? So my father is the only man that my mother has ever loved, okay? I mean, she believes in, like, you know, getting married and having a family, you know, that kind of stuff. Everything is in a specific order, okay? None of that hanky-panky stuff before you get the wedding. I mean, my mom was just like, sparkle, sparkle. You know, clean. And I appreciate that, okay? So my mom comes from that day and age, you know. And she comes from that background, and, you know, she tries to be a good moral standard, in her moral standards. Okay, and so, you know, I have my other siblings, okay, and they are judgmental, okay? They're very judgmental. I did have a child without being married, okay? And I really think that that's kind of overblown. It was a mistake. No, he's not a mistake, okay? My son was, like, super hella awesome. But it was something that I did in the past that a lot of women do, okay? But I would say that's about the as far as the scandal goes. So it's as far as the scandal goes. And I know that some people would think, well, yeah, that's just her lifestyle. No, it is not my lifestyle. And that's where it becomes annoying to me, because a lot of women who get pregnant, they'll get married to a person only so they can be in a horrible relationship, and then only so it can psychologically devastate the child, seeing these two people continually argue, you know, and then they end up getting divorced or whatever. And I'm just like, you know, I think the most responsible thing in my case, okay, I'm not saying that some people get married when they're pregnant just because they're pregnant, and that's their choice, okay? But I'm the kind of person, I like to think things through. And that's when I was younger and I was pregnant, I started thinking, you know, I need to, that's when I started really thinking about long-term stuff, okay? Because before, I had no reason to. I mean, why should I? You know what I mean? I could just sit around and, you know, go get, like, you know, a shitload of beer and some candy. And that was my lifestyle, too. I'd go to work for a little bit, and then I'd, like, hang out in my room, listen to music, drink a shitload of beer. And I used to have this, like, thing with, like, licorice and those, like, sour straws. Like, that and beer, for some reason, was just, like, my thing, okay? And I could have lived that way for the rest of my life, okay? But when I got to be older and when I got pregnant, okay, I kept thinking, okay, how am I going to do this? And I didn't want to get an abortion because I was looking at it from the religious aspect. And then I kept thinking, well, I don't want to give it up for adoption. I can't imagine myself just, like, you know, just placing this child somewhere. Couldn't imagine doing that. So I said, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep my baby. And I did. And I think my family never looked at it from my point of view. See, in their mind, it's kind of like those people in the eastern, back in the eastern countries where people, like, you know, roll their eyes and just, like, think, oh, that woman, she deserves to be stoned to death, okay? And my family's view, I guess they kind of think of it the same way. Maybe, I guess, I don't know. But I was trying to be responsible, making the best decision based on my spiritual views as well as my, what do you want to call it, secular or whatever, material views as well. So I kept thinking, you know, I'm going to keep the baby, and I don't want to ever be in a situation. It's one thing to do something or have a baby, but then you want to get married to the person that you don't really feel like it's very stable, and I didn't think marriage was the best thing, okay? So I canceled that, gave him his ring back, and just said, you know what, I'm going to do this on my own. Do it on my own. And I tried to be responsible. So that's why I find it, like, so devastating to me that my family would want to destroy everything that I'm trying to work for. You know what I mean? Because maybe they think their view is that, you know, I don't want to point fingers, but my sister got pregnant before she got married, okay? So, I mean, I'm being scapegoated here for bullshit, okay? Just bullshit. And that gets irritating. But I will say, because I have different views and I was different than the rest of my siblings, they looked at me as different. And for whatever reason, it's a scapegoating issue as well. But, you know, I just think that society is very hard on women, and that people want to quickly judge them and blame them for everything that they do. And when they try to change and do things that are right, they try to do everything they can to take responsibility for the life that they bring into the world. And then people just want to throw stones at them anyway. That's bullshit. That is bullshit, complete bullshit, you know. I had no idea that my family resented that so deeply. You know what I mean? I knew that they shouldn't have been thrilled about it, mind you, but, you know, hey, at least they're saying she's trying to do the right thing, okay? It just says so much about the people that I've been living with who I realize never wished me well, or my son well, for that matter. Because why would you do that? I mean, you don't care about your, you know, your nephew, or what's wrong with you? I mean, what the hell? You know? But yeah, so based on that, they probably thought that because I had a kid before I was married, now she's getting, and this is how my sister Tanya thinks, okay? Because she lives in a fairy tale world, okay? Now that, you know, she's leaving, or she left her husband, so this, and this, and this. What they don't understand is that all the stress that I have been feeling all the intense emotions and the worry and fear about losing my job is because of them. Okay? This is not me trying to take, shuck responsibility off or anything like this. But these people have been in every job I have probably ever had. You know? And they're sitting here picking me apart over bullshit. You know what I mean? If I change my hair, if I'm wearing makeup, I hear girls being petty and picky about it. If I decide to come in natural, okay, meaning no fucking fake hair, no fucking makeup or whatever, then they'll start picking me on that. So I'm dealing with people who fucking flat out hate me. Okay? They fucking hate me, period. That's my fucking family. Who didn't care about me, or my son or anything else. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But once again, I'm trying to go back to women, and I'm trying to get my videos to not be so emotionally filled, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like I need to do PowerPoint videos, because that way I can eliminate the emotion in it. I don't need to be emotional. I mean, obviously, this is something that's very annoying, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be, released on the camera. But I just can't help it. But anyway, one thing doesn't necessarily mean the other, okay? So, every time I would get a job, I would start up, everything would be fine, then all of a sudden, the manager or my employees, or sometimes, not employees, but the employees in general, or whatever, just turn to absolute weirdos and become, like, cutthroat, competitive. I call it plastic jealousy, because I'm not really sure. I don't believe that the jealousy is in the people's heart initially. I think my family's competitive game puts this emotion in them because they're putting a bug in their ear. You know what I mean? And so all of that is extremely stressful for a woman who is trying to take care of her child. Okay? Because that's all I've been doing all these goddamn years. I've been trying to take care of my child. Period. You know what I mean? I don't care what anybody else thinks. You can sit there and think all you fucking want to. You know what I mean? And this goes for all the other women out there. There's a lot of women who are constantly being talked about and shit on, because they might not be married, okay? And they might be doing the best they can to go to work and try to pay their bills, to keep a roof over their head so they can put the food on the table. And then meanwhile, you got these stupid bitches making up bullshit to try to make their life miserable. Okay? And they could clean all these misconceptions up if they just come right out and ask a person. But instead, it's far more fun and more socially enjoyable if we can make up shit and talk to people and then spread it all over the country. Okay? Women have it hard, okay? I think in this situation, it's a woman's issue. I do remember going to a metaphysical store on H Street a little bit after this happened, after I left the farmer's place. And I think that the town was already all over this, right? I mean, I couldn't believe it. And these people were all taking extreme interest in me, right? And she said something, I was telling her that I was here to talk about what was going on at work. I didn't want to give all these details, but I was just saying I was really stressed out, right? And they could tell I was pissed off, because when I first walked into the entranceway, they could just look at me and tell I was fucking pissed, right? And so I was under the impression that it was a racial issue, okay? A little religious, but a racial issue mostly. Okay, these women kept coming up to me and telling me, no, don't make it a race issue, as if I could make it a choice on what kind of issue it was going to be, right? Don't make it a race issue, make it a woman's issue. And I kept thinking, what are you talking about, woman's issue? Okay, I know there was a little girl that I was sitting here, working with, who was being a total little bitch, and I know that she was biracial, and I know that she was fat, and she thought she was the shit, but how is this a woman's issue? Did you mean that she thought we were competing? Because this is what I understand. This girl is way too young to be competitive like this, okay? So now I'm starting to realize that this shit was coming from my family. It was a woman's issue in some issues, okay? It was a woman's issue, religious issue. Then, of course, it blossomed to a race issue. It is ridiculous, okay? But my point is that it kind of is a woman's issue. And I do think that my family has misjudged me. They have misjudged me. And they have been unfair, okay? I don't know what to tell them. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell them. I'm not what they think that I am, okay? No, I'm not. I'm just a woman who has tried to take care of my son, and I have not been able to do that. Okay? It's been get it out of work, pick it up, have a shitload of debt behind, try to pick that up, pay all these bills, try to pick myself up, and then some more bullshit happens. And this is all my fucking weird, jealous sister's fault. This is a woman's issue. And it's not just my issue, it's a lot of women's issues, okay? When people can get left, okay, by their husbands for a new, younger woman or whatever, or a hotter woman or whatever, and they're sitting here holding the bag and being ostracized and being treated like shit in society, that is a woman's issue, and it's a serious problem, okay? Because it's not fair that women get demonized when they do. It's not, you know? And I think it's something that people need to think about, okay? It really is. And anyway, I really wanted to release that.